Guys, we are going to try this again. And we're off. We're up. We're up and running. Guys, go ahead and let me know. 100% better? Perfect. I knew I'd get it right. Audio visual. Probably anyone using TTS sooner. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm making sure everything, we won't have another issue. Cause that ain't like me. Let me see here. If you don't know, I just dropped the video because I thought if I can't do live, I'm gonna at least put the video out for you guys. But I think we back. I think we are back. It says, do you guys all, I'm guessing, use Power Vision? Anyone using the TTS tuner? We do not use the TTS tuner. We've had probably the best luck with Power Vision. We've used ThunderMax at one point. Just didn't give us everything we pretty much get with the Power Vision. There's a lot more capability with the Power Vision than pretty much all of them. There's only one other one that you have to run now on the 2024 and ups. It's this, and of course I can't remember the name of it, but we're trying to get away from all of anything but Power Vision. We're waiting on Power Vision to release something new for the 2024s. Now, ask me again if I'm going to get a 2024 or better. As soon as I see the aftermarket come around, as soon as I see that, you know, I can go a little bit further than just average with a 2024, 2025 bike, then that's when I'll probably jump on board, guys. I'm not in a rush to just, you know, jump out there yet because it's like I don't have an issue with my bikes now. This bike has 12,000 miles on it, but we rebuilt the motor, so it's pretty much no miles on that bike. This one has 7,000 miles. We rebuilt it, so it's probably, it's probably about 3,000 or 4,000 miles since the build. But I don't really have the need just yet. Now, are they knocking? Are they calling my name? Absolutely. The bikes look good. I actually went to the dealership yesterday, and I looked at the CVO, and I was just like, God. I mean, because there's so much I feel like I can do with one of those CVOs. And I don't know the name of the color, but it's the orange one. Let me try and look it up real quick. I know you guys probably know it. It's the, I'm looking at the picture. I'm looking for a name. Legendary Orange. Yeah, that Legendary Orange is something serious, guys. To see it in person is a lot different because you can see, you know, how the colors pop and everything like that. And I've just never been one for chrome. And of course, the CVO is going to come in chrome if I do get the Legendary Orange or something like that. I gotta find space. I gotta find space, man. I can't. I need some recording room, and I don't want it off camera. That bike has to stay on camera, man. You know what I mean? So if you're coming into the live, I apologize for earlier because my internet was just going crazy. These kids is probably playing every video game and watching something on YouTube at the same time. So they're really probably killing my internet right now, but I think we got everything back together. I think everything's running smooth. You guys always let me know if something's not right. I always got to have my audio and my visual before I even start these lives, guys. Hoodies are in full effect. Hoodie with Bipolar, hoodie with the King. I should have probably swapped them around, but I got one more hoodie coming out, and that's just the branded hoodie. And it's pretty much gonna look like that. It's gonna have the big wings on the back and the one on the front, just like these hoodies. A little bit later on in the live, I'll pull one of these off and show you guys how they're made. But I'll be getting them out as guys that come to order. As you order them, that's when they'll be made. I don't want to just have 100 hoodies laying around and nobody to get them to. So they'll be coming if you guys are going to order. Hit me over on a Real Official Mac on Instagram, and I'll try and get out, a hoodie to you guys. We still got the t-shirts. They've been pretty much moving pretty good for me. So just let me know. I'll hook you up. So let me start reading some of the comments, and we'll keep this live happening. Everybody says it's 100% better. So a guy asked if he says, do we use TTS tuners at all? And pretty much the answer is no. No TTS tuners, and no Thunder Max, really. George can tune on pretty much anything, but his bread and butter is the Power Vision, with great understanding that a lot of these guys come and they want two different tunes. You really can't put two tunes in these other tuners and be able to swap on the fly. Like I said, Thunder Max is pretty much just a ECU for your computer. You pretty much have to hook it up to a laptop to then swap tunes. Now, I'm going right to the gas station. If there's no E85 where I'm at, I'm putting 93 and I'm swapping my map over, and it takes me 2 minutes. Michael White says, how many miles do I put on my bikes a year? It's kind of hard to say, man. Remember, we have certain times that nobody likes to ride. When it's super hot and when it's raining. We don't really want to ride, but we'll do the miles and try to get some miles anyway. Most of the riding starts to come towards the end of the year. So me, I would guess 4,000 or 5,000 miles, maybe. I think we're at 4,000 I put on this one this year. But I wish I could have put a little bit more. I really wish I could have put a little bit more miles on that bike, because it's just a fun and a blast to ride. But, it's already kind of coming up to, like I said, the end of the year. I got one more ride coming. It's December 28th. So if you guys are in Florida and you want to take that ride, we're going to end up at Rockstar Harley over in Fort Myers. So it's going to be that Saturday morning. I'll be tearing out of here probably about 8 o'clock. Try to get there by 10 o'clock. Have a good time, go get some lunch, and then I'm back before it even starts to get dark. I'll probably be back that afternoon. That's my type of riding, though, but, all things considered. So, yeah, let's get back on these topics, man. Let's get back on these topics. I know you talked on this year ago, but what made you switch from sport bike racing to bagger racing? I'm going to get back to that, Chris. Chris Boston just asked a real good question. If you guys have just come into this live, the live was kind of had to be pushed a little bit out, because the first one was, the quality was janky. I don't play that. So go ahead and hit the like button for this new live. I'll get into why I swapped from sport bike racing to Harley racing in a second. Thank you. You said clear now. Way early, but you consider coming to Tall's event in East Tennessee this year? I'm going to answer that one too. What are your thoughts on the new 24 style road glides and previous styling? Harley didn't miss. Harley didn't miss with this one. The 24s, man, when I see these guys really kind of customize and kind of do their own things with the new 24s, they're nasty, nasty bikes, man. I love the headlight on them. The rest of the bike doesn't really do too much for me, but the headlight is the killer. Now, I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. There's a company who I've been working with, and they want to do something with me, and it's going to involve this bike, and we're probably going to change it up a little bit, just a little bit. So big thing is coming for this bike, because since we've been talking about the 24s, and I'm telling you guys, I can't really say, let me go get a 24 and get rid of Bipolar. It doesn't make sense for me, but we're gonna update Bipolar a little bit. That's as far as I'm going with it. But yeah, the new 24s, blast of a bike. They're quick. They're not beast yet, but I got a feeling they will be beast pretty soon. As soon as we can get more parts, trial and error done, and a good tuner, then I'll be 100% on board. But if you look at the bikes and the styles that I have now, there's no way for me to get rid of either one of these. This is that cruiser and a Road King. You can't get rid of a Road King if you have one. This is the fast bike. Okay, that leaves space for one more bike. And if it were going to be a new bike, it would have to be the showstopper of a bike. Okay, it doesn't need to be my daily. It doesn't need to be something that's super blazing fast, but it needs to be something that, like, when I pull it out, you know, heads are gonna turn. That's the angle I would be going for with that bike. The one we already talked about, the legendary orange, is chrome, guys. I'm not a chrome fan by a long shot, but that bike takes the cake. Let me get back to answering these questions, guys. Let me take. So what got me out of sport bike racing into more Harley racing? Well, sport bike racing for me at this point, this age in my life, is just a little bit too sketchy. You know, you got to understand, guys, when I built a lot of my sport bikes, I would be running at the track and it would go over 170 miles an hour through the quarter mile. You know, I would have some that were 170, and then I would have some that would be 180 something. That's fast. So then when street racing kind of brought me back to the streets a little bit, which didn't last too long, guys. I couldn't do it too long. I'm still running crazy numbers up top like that. Gotta go. It's not even a comfortable bike. And I like to enjoy the ride and have something that I can ride wherever I'm going, have fun with it, ride it back home. That's the ultimate, you know, build. That's the ultimate bike. When you can take your bike out, take it for hours of a trip, let it cool off, run the hell out of it, let it cool off, bring it back home, you can't beat that. And I will admit that you probably put a little bit more money in a Harley, but I'm getting the best of both worlds. Yes, that bike is faster, but that's kind of for the younger crowd still. That's that fearless crowd still. So that's why I got out of sport bike racing and into Harley racing. Remember, guys, I've only been racing the Harleys for about 2 years, almost 3 really, because that first year I'm still learning. I'm really not racing them. I mean, I got out there early and started racing people, but I still didn't have like something super fast and something super set up to kind of like, you know, push me over the edge at all. So, let's see. Take your advice on the last live about the SNS 132 build. Went with a 130, and I'll let you know how it goes. I want to say Igor Barbosa. Yes, man, do not go 132. I'm glad you changed your mind. Absolutely, T-Man 130 all day long. I know another guy out there that has a 130 from T-Man, and bike looks pretty quick to me. You know, he went out and tried to catch a couple races, and some guys, you know, they kind of like stepped up to the plate, but, you know, another talk for another day. I'll let him tell his own story. If you're just joining us live, go ahead and hit the like button. There's enough of us in here to keep these lives going. Let me go back a couple. Appreciate your thoughts on the 24 models of purchase a new 24 Road Glide. Yeah, man. I tell guys all the time, I got a buddy who has I think he has a 20. And it's just a basic little build. It's a stage 2, nothing crazy. But I tell him all the time, I'm like, man, look, you're running up the miles. Technology has taken over. the 2024s are the way to go. Guys don't understand that the 2024s aren't really moving at the dealerships. This is the best time to go out and try to get yourself a deal. I'm still waiting. We're at the end of December. And if I wanted to catch a CVO, I would definitely have to wait until the new year, because they got to bring the new CVOs along into the new year. And you know, the new colors. So that legendary orange I've been looking at and putting my head to the window might be a little bit easier for me to put my hands on. Now I'm still looking to see what the CVO ST brings. If it brings that color that I'm looking for, guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about by now, if it brings that color that I'm looking for, it's a go. It is definitely a go. But I don't know what the colors are going to be, so I don't want to even start getting my own hopes up too crazy. All the vultures, if you in here, what's up? We'll be able to talk more in March, so I hope to see everybody in the place. Go ahead and like this live. What else we got? What else we got? Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody's live. I mean, anybody's question, sorry. Chip, what's happening? Hey, me and Chip talked the other day. You know, sometimes when you need to, you know, you wanna talk about your bikes, friendly amongst friends, and you know, plans and stuff like that. You gotta have a guy that can hold water. He can't spill the beans for everybody. Chip knows a lot of what's going on. He knows the race world. He knows how to build bikes. He knows what goes along with it, and he knows the drama out in the race world that we kind of keep, you know, we kind of keep away from that, but you know, that stuff still happens, and you know, it's good to have somebody to talk to about those things. It just makes the sport and the passion for motorcycles just that much better, guys. If you haven't seen, I just put a video out today. I'll be dropping another video probably this week. Go check that video out. I think it's a pretty decent video. I'm trying to still help out the new guys who are just getting into Harleys. Guys, you got to understand, you know, you guys might have been watching me for a while, but there's still a lot of new guys out there that just come across my channel and still are trying to learn things. And, you know, sometimes you learn from certain people, certain things. I don't go out and teach people how to long distance ride, but I do teach people how to put a bike together, good parts to use, and then tell you where to go and get your stuff built at, because that's just what, you know, I'm not a builder, so I got to tell you where to go to get the best of the best. You guys have seen, you know, my bike go from bone stock to stage 2 to then a big bore kit. This bike, you guys know, this is my baby. She's low key. She doesn't do too much talking, but when she gets in the road, she's in a league of her own. Okay. Mac, mild riding build or for stock 114 that rides from state to state, suspension cam, etc. Your thoughts? I got you. You're in the live, brother. I ain't got no choice but to answer. Guys, I always answer honest as I can. Let's start with suspension. I like Legends. I'm a Legends guy. I think Legends is comfortable. So Legends is not gonna be the best at any certain one thing. That's just not what they do. But I can take a Legend suspension, ride it for hours. It will be comfortable. I can ride it 2 up. It will be comfortable. And I can also settle it down for one-on-one drag racing. Guys, I can go in the back, set my suspension for when I'm just out there trying to beat up the bike, because that's how we set it up first. And then I say, okay, now let me go and set it up for how I like to cruise my bike. Okay, now maybe let me set it up for when I'm riding 2 up, tour pack, everything like that, and how I set it up like that. It's not rocket science at this point, but Legends has always been just the suspension that I've always looked at to not have an issue with. I kind of feel like some of these other suspensions are set up more for racing. How often are you racing? You know what I mean? You're probably more cruising and just getting miles in and taking, you know, just your trips with the guys more often than you're out there trying to, you know, race your bike. This bike has the same suspension as this bike. Nothing different. What I will say is, if you do the front and not the back, you notice the difference. If you do the back and not the front, you'll notice the difference in the front. I mean, do yourself a favor, do it all at once. Mild riding build is a big bore kit. 124, well, it's a 114, so a 128 or 130. 130, ride it anywhere. The bike doesn't run hot. I have a power vision. I keep track of what the temps look like. And yes, they're a little bit higher than stock, but it kind of like offsets itself, because now instead of me trying to get on a stock bike and keep trying to like ring it out to get around traffic and different things like that, or stay up to speed, I don't need to do that. Barely tap the gas and we're up to the front of the pack. But with something like that as well, you need to make sure all the components are going to be good quality and hold up for a build like that. You know, I don't know what else type of a riding you're going to be doing. If you're doing, you know, a lot of riding with the pack, you know what I mean? This bike is super loud when I thump it, so just be cognizant of that. A lot of the times a good D&D, good HPI pipe are real suitable for the street, but they also make power. Man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna give you the game. Just come talk to me. I'm gonna give you the game. What else we got? Suspension cam. So the cam part is all up to your builder. I can't tell you what cam to run. I can't even tell you if I prefer one cam over the other. It's all about the build. So when these guys say, oh, I just threw a 475 cam in it, those guys don't know any other cam. You say, oh, I got a Cyclorama 480, 483, whatever, 480, whatever. You don't know the difference. So for me to come out and tell you to get this cam would be nonsense. If you're doing a build. Now, if you're saying I'm just doing a stage 2, cam really doesn't matter. You're gonna pick from, you want a top end cam, you want a low end cam, you want a mid range cam. Poof, pow, that's it, man. But what I will tell you are the things that I always feel like that's gonna make you most comfortable. There's a good set of bars and a good seat. That's gonna keep you on the bike. Headlight at this point, man, before I put the Baja lights in there, I would always just turn the high beams on and ride all day. Night or day, I'm always high beam, because I'd rather be seen, especially from a distance, guys. You do understand that those cars pull out just at the last moment, but if they see a throw, you know, the throw of the light, they'll kind of pay attention. And then if you feel like, he ain't really paying attention, you know, we'll flicker the headlights, the high beams, and, you know, go on about our way. So if you're talking about state to state riding, guys, you need something like that. Depending on what kind of bike you have as well, make sure you get yourself a good windshield. That's all I got for that one. Let's keep going. Wow, you just gave the keys to buying the CVO. Wait until the end of the year since I bought my 24 in May. The CVO units on the dealership are moving with lightning speed. Dealers aren't motivated. Absolutely, man. I'm sitting here telling you that every time I buy a bike, it's towards the end of the year. September, October, those guys already know that the new bikes have to get ready to come in. We have to get rid of this old stuff. We need the space. If you ever go to a dealership and you see just like a lot of inventory, just wait. Just wait, because if they can't get it to other dealerships to get it out of their hands so they don't lose out on money, if they can't do that, then, you know, the prices are just going to be like, they're going to be just trying to get rid of them. And at the same time, they get over on people. You know what I mean? They throw you a hook and sinker deal sometimes. So the time is end of the year, just wait on them and see what they do. If you ever notice, dealerships do the same thing every time. If they let you walk out, they're gonna call you, probably 2 times. And that 3rd time is gonna be their final offer. They won't let you immediately get up and walk away. They're gonna say, hey, all right, give me one more chance. Let me go talk to somebody. Oh, one more time. Let me go talk. Because the first answer they're gonna give you is ridiculous. Okay, they're gonna slide you a piece of paper and say, hey, that's where we can make the payments. You know what I mean? You're planning on this for 80 months. So you're gonna be like, no, that's ridiculous. I'm not even. I'm not even coming in here to put any money down. If you know what you're doing, you're gonna get a good deal. You just tell them no immediately. I don't care if they gave you a steal of a deal. Tell them no. Let them come back with the second one. Give it a little thought. You know, give it a little thought. And that third one, that's the one you're gonna probably either take it or go to another dealership. And I had to do that with this bike, man. When I went and bought this bike, I almost bought a used one. And it was just like, 100 miles on the bike. And the guy was charging me more than the bike was for it being new. I mean, he was charging like 31,000 and some change. I remember it was like, I'm like, bro, still a used bike. They got a bike over here for 20-some thousand. Like, what are we doing? And so he's like, oh, okay, well, if you can go and get that one, go ahead and get it. And I immediately got up and they chased me. I felt like I was gonna have to like push some stuff down to trip them so I can get out the door. But I get out the door, they're talking. I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll send you a picture of the bike when I get it. And as soon as I got there, I went to the other dealership. I'm like, let's go. I don't care, let's go. Got a good deal on it. Took the picture of the bike, sent it to the guy. Hey, it is what it is. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I gotta get back on his subject. So somebody asked me, they said, hey, are you willing to go to Tennessee to an event to race at the track? Absolutely not. It makes no sense to me to travel that far to go to a racetrack when there's a potential of something happening, somebody not being able to race. It's not worth it for me at the end of the day when I know all of those guys, every YouTuber is coming to my backyard. They're coming to Daytona Bike Week. But you guys don't realize that Daytona's here. Orlando is an hour this way, straight across. There's a racetrack in Orlando Speedway. Go look it up. It's probably one of the most famous tracks out there. It's a fast track, hour away. A good ride would be ride an hour over, have some fun, ride an hour back. If you say you're not a street racer, I understand that. Just my opinion. I could be, I could be wrong. Okay, keep going down. What else we got? I'm glad I went with the T-Man 130 on my roadglide. Yes, T-Man makes a good kit, man. T-Man makes a good kit. Man, what's up, bro? I told you that the subscribers don't want to see any more of his track races. If it's not you, his response was, anybody can get it, anybody. He said it a second time. But you know what? Put a name on it. You got to put a name on it. We say his name on my side. I don't really say his name too much, but I wouldn't say anybody can get it. I would say if I want to race you, I'm going to say I want to race you. I'm going to say that I'll race you anytime, anywhere, if I really wanted to race you. I'll never get that kind of welcoming. You know what I mean? I don't think that'll happen. But March is coming. It's going to be a different Mac in March. Guys, I've been street racing for a long time. I've been racing motorcycles a long time, cars a long time. You guys know that. One day I'm going to post pictures of all my cars and bikes that if I still got pictures, and I'll show you what I had and what was fast and what wasn't fast, whatever. But I know when somebody really wants to race. I know when somebody really doesn't want to race. I don't have to be the smartest guy out there, but I know if you post a video and accidentally showed the time, I don't care what happened in the race, and you accidentally showed the time. And if you know your time is slow, you erase it. You you blank that part out. You just edit it back a little bit, but you leave it up there. I know the bike's slow. By watching some of these bikes, I'm not saying anybody's names, I'm just saying in general. When they run their bikes and you see them run it, and my test pass is faster than these full all-out runs, or I'm not really trying to go after those guys because I know what the end result is. I kind of want to go after something that's going to be a challenge. It's kind of like why I have two bikes. I mean, this is not supposed to be my race bike. This is like the YouTuber bike. This is like the one that I'm saying, all right, you want some action, you might want to try that one. This is really not in a lot of those guys' classes, so it wouldn't be fair. But if they said, yes, I want to run you, I'm going to say, hey, can we run this one? And they're probably going to tell me no, and then we go to that one. Giving real game tonight. Yep. Hey, giving real game every night, guys, every night. I don't race. Think they let people do whatever, but in 3 years, they only went to the track once. You was to get a new 24. Did you go road glide or street glide? Anything happen, Mac, as far as YouTube race, event planning, nature? Yes. So, like I said, guys, in March, I'm going to be planning an event. Hopefully, it happens in Daytona. Like I said, I just got to make sure everybody's on board and I can make something happen. A lot of these guys, you know, don't want to do it. But if I could get the big dogs, and I'm not talking about YouTubers, big dogs from all these other places that do some racing to come down and bring their fast bike every now and then, you know, maybe bring it down. I want to show you guys some real racing, especially at an event that I could put together. So if I were to get a 24, it would definitely be a road glide. And it would definitely be the legendary orange. If you just come into this live, hit the like button, guys. Run it up for me, please. But yes, that legendary orange, like right here. I could put it like right here, right? I mean, let's think about it. I'm not a chrome guy. I'm not a chrome guy by a long shot, but that legendary orange has been calling my name. Even the 20, what was it, a 23 or a 22? They had the orange, and the same time it came out with the yellow and black one. Whatever that color was, man, I'm not even an orange guy. I'm not an orange guy. You guys, you know what color I like. I'm not even an orange guy, but that bike is hitting the nail on the head. Hoodies. Let me get out your way. Oh, I'm sorry about, hey, sorry about the gold up there. Hoodies. Bipolar hoodie, the King hoodie, and we have the logo hoodie coming as well. They will be made to order. Don't let me tell you that they'll be to your house in like 3 days, because it probably won't happen. He has to make them. Once he makes them, then I ship them off, and then it's a couple of days in shipping. Best low-end 2,000 to 4,000 RPM torque cam. I'm going to give you what everybody else says. It's the SNS 475, guys. That cam is probably the best stage 2 all-around cam for 2023 and down bikes. I don't know about the 2024s. I do not, I can't tell you about the 2024s, but if I get my hands on one, I'm going to make a movie with it, okay? It's not gonna be, guys, I already told you, I got a fast bike, and I got my bike that I wanna put my miles on. This time I gotta have a showstopper. You guys gonna talk me into this, huh? All right, I'm gonna keep going. Not sure if you talked about, yo, what's up, man? D Naughty, what's happening, brother? That orange here was definitely the business. You know what, guys? A lot of guys don't believe in that orange. You have to see it in person. I even seen it on the street glide. I was like, Jesus Christ. He got it in the street glide that looked like that. And he had BST wheels on it with the little orange, little, whatever they're called, on the rotors. Killer. Killer. Let's see. I have one on the floor. I'll give you a great deal. Brian Irons, where you at? Shout out the dealership, man. Talk to me. How do I get a hold of them hoodies? Brother, listen, I got t-shirts and hoodies. Seems like everybody wants to do it all of a sudden now. But hit me on RealOfficialMac on Instagram. I got you. I got you. What's the order info on Bipolar hoodie? Yeah, man. Just shout me out your size. I'll let you know the pricing. It's nothing crazy. It's what a normal hoodie costs. Shoot me the size. And like I said, give me a good week and you'll have a hoodie at your door. Yeah. What else? Bipolar is well built, like the styling and speed wise. Yeah, me too. Me too. I've always told you guys, Bipolar, first of all, Bipolar got his name because I don't know if you guys even know how Bipolar got his name. I don't know if I ever told you guys a story. Eisenhower, Harley-Davidson, Pennsylvania. Okay. Coach ready to race. hold on. Let me make sure I ain't missing anybody's questions before I start going off the topic and just start talking. We got a few people in here. Okay, so Bipolar got his name because when I first built the bike, and I'm talking about a big bore kit, I ride the bike, and I'm like, man, this bike won't stay on the ground. I'm not just blowing this up. This is not a good story, okay? This is not a good story. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna understand after a second. So I'm like, man, I can't keep the bike on the ground. I can't keep the bike on the ground. Like, what's up? What did we do right or wrong here? So I'm like, George, I don't know what we did right. I don't know what we did wrong, but I can't keep this bike on the ground. And I got some racing about to happen. He's like, all right, just let me ride it. And I think he said, you ain't riding it right. I said, okay. There's a video. It's a viral video where George gets on a bike. We're at the road. I'd already wheelied it a few times trying to get my races on. He gets on it, and that bike goes up, 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 and it goes probably 11 o'clock. Scrapes the bumper 2 times. And when he comes back down, and the sweat that's like all over he almost goes off the road. He corrects it and gets it back on the road, and I'm like, I mean, cracks the rear fender, like whatever. That part, it can be replaced. But, you know, and that's how the bike got its name, Bipolar. I really had to figure out how to slow this bike down and let it come alive on, you know, after the 60 foot, after, you know, 100 feet out, to really be able to start riding it a little tougher. But that's how Bipolar got his name. Bipolar is a beautiful bike. There's nothing that I would change. There's really nothing else that I would do to this bike. You know, it's clean. It's got everything. It's got the best of everything on this bike. It's turnkey. Every time I turn the key and hit the button, it will fire right up. I can ride it wherever I want. But once it cools off and I take it to the line, it's me and her. We got to lock in together because she's going to send you for a ride. I've had a lot of bikes that were hard to kind of like tame and learn how to ride or whatever, but this one has been by far, in the beginning, an animal, you know what I mean? But, you know, we got it together. She's a little calmer now. When I did this bike, guys, I knew it was going to be kind of like a handful to ride to, but you know, you kind of know what you're working with something like that either way. What else we got? What else we got? What was I going over with you guys earlier? Let's scroll back up because I know. So we've been talking about the 2024s, and I've been telling you guys to wait if you're going to buy a new bike. If you're like right there on the cusp of buying a new bike, wait it out. Let 2025 hit. The 2024s, I don't think moved like they really thought they would. I go to the dealership and I just see 2024s just lined up. I don't care what dealership you're going to, they're really, really stacked up in there. But wait, give it a little bit more time. I know the guys can't tell you this, but they have to get those bikes out of there. They have to move them. So they're gonna be given almost the cost price for those bikes. Tell me I'm lying, tell me I'm wrong, tell me that's not gonna happen. I can guarantee you somebody's gonna go in there and say, hey, I got a steal of a deal. I took your advice. Okay, moving right along. It depends on the rider, but Bipolar or Georgia CV on the quarter. Georgia CVO is faster than Bipolar, man. Yeah. That's not even a question. I believe, you know, it will beat Bipolar. Bipolar's fast, but George is one of those guys that, you know, is not gonna stop. You know, me, I gotta stop. My pockets tell me to stop all the time. But you know, I push the envelope with it. But he's one of those guys that are always, all right, getting the new parts, getting the new things to put on a bike like that, and he's out regularly, you know, making passes and making sure his bikes are together. So it's kind of hard to beat somebody like that. I think the Star 3030 runs better for the low end torque than the 475 I had. I heard the 3030 is a good cam too. It's a Star Racing cam. What else we got? Dog. What about the mid and the high end on the Star Racing cam? Yeah, I mean, guys, it's a decent cam. Will you notice a difference? Are you out here trying to race? You know what I mean? Or we out here cruising and trying to get in traffic? What are we talking about? Because I believe that 3030 is going to put down a little bit more power, but the power, I'm sure you're going to see it more up top. Let's see. Can you go over what you mean when you say showstopper? Do you mean like a killer money show bike or like a better version of Bipolar, if that's even possible? So when I say a killer show bike, I mean, it's going to be one, no, not that I put in shows, but for the streets, it's going to stay clean. It's going to have wheels. It's going to have everything that you're just like, he did it right. That type of showstopper, because we ride our bikes, man. I'm going to get on the highway and, you know, we're hitting bugs, you know, stuff like that. My bike still has to be able to do all those things, but it's going to sound like a champ. It might not run like these bikes. It probably won't, but it's got to sound like a champ. It's got to look like a champ. And I have to be able to say, you know what? This is my version of this bike. Just like this, my version of it. I haven't seen too many people set their bikes up with the same paint schemes and the colors and just the little add-ons that they do to their bikes. This bike is not a very bright color. This bike is definitely not a very bright color, but that 24, that legendary orange would be bright. Let's keep going. What else we got? Max, speak about the mirrors being upside down, the benefits of the styling. Hey, let me tell you this. If a tall person has mirrors under their handlebars, they're doing it because they saw other people do it. There's no other reason why you would do it. When I do it, my handlebars are usually above my line of sight, right? So with bars like these on a pullback, you'll have the bars, you would have the mirror this high. So basically, I would be like this, like I'm looking in a rearview mirror, trying to look through the mirror. So when they're up under my arms, I take a straight look from my straight line of sight right over, and I can see the mirrors. Does it look cool? Maybe it does, but it can't be way up here on this style of bike. On this bike, it hides my handlebars behind my front fairing. So when I'm trying to go fast, I don't want any wind resistance on this bike. Now, if the person that you might have seen or anybody else who have done it might be saying that's why they do it, they're lying. That's why you're supposed to be doing it. And the same goes for this. These are 12-inch bars. These are 18-inch bars. These 12-inch bars sit almost at the same size or the same height with these with a pullback. So it's the same thing. I'm looking right here, right under my arm. I'm not doing this. I'm not trying to fight and trying to look for the mirror. And a lot of the times I turn my head first, then I check the mirror, and then I turn my head. Either way it goes. So that's my reasoning for doing it. Any other reason for all these other people saying their reason is. Anyways, moving right along from that, the 408X Woods cam is definitely no slouch. Okay. I've heard about the Woods cams too. Guys, you gotta understand, before I started going to the shop, I knew absolutely nothing about cams in Harleys. I didn't know from torque cam to top end cam to just a straight mid-range cam or what was gonna give me the best bang for the buck cam, but I did hear Woods was always the best bang for the buck. Now, and until you start experimenting or having somebody that has experimented with a bunch of cams, now you can go on the internet and watch videos of some guys just swapping cam, looking for horsepower, next cam, horsepower, see where the range is, and they try and keep everything neutral. So basically they'll try to use the same air cleaner, the same exhaust, just keep swapping cam, keep swapping cam, keep swapping cam. You can go off of that. Sometimes that might be just the best way to do it. I think probably that would have been the way I did it if I was doing everything myself. As for big engines, nobody does that. They don't sit up and try to kind of like figure out a cam for your setup, because it comes down to the builder and what the combination your builder puts together. Hope I answered that question. Okay. On a stage 2, what's a better pipe and cam intake, injectors, and do the pipe and first ride in it for a while, then save up for parts? Okay, so from what I'm understanding, and let me try and steer you in the right direction with this question. If you feel like you just want to do a stage 2 for now, and you want to run over and do a big bore kit afterwards, buy the best pipe you can afford, because you need a quality pipe. And I only stand by a few pipes. You know what I mean? I've always stuck by D&D, Thunderheader, and some Basanis. The HPI pipe is the new one that a lot of guys are looking towards. Bipolar has its own custom pipe. I run a Thunderheader on this one. I've had 3 exhausts on that bike so far. So let that be the first thing, because once you go big bore, you still need that same pipe. It's going to help you no matter what setup you have. Injectors, depending on how big you go. I know a lot of guys, you're going to start off with 5.5s. Do pipe and tune first ride. Cam intake. So intakes. Okay, so air breathers is what he's asking for. The Trask is probably one of the better pipes, and they also have an extended, so it's even a little bit bigger, well, sticks out a little further than your T-Man air cleaner. The only other air cleaner I would run is the T-Man. I like the style, and we all know that it doesn't lose any power on the dyno. Now, with that being said, my brother, you need to get yourself a nice throttle body and a nice manifold. I wouldn't go anything less than a 62 millimeter. And then save up for the big bore kit and whatever else you want to do. What else we got? It just kills the flow in very humble opinion. Oh, I missed something. What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss, guys? Okay, I think he was talking about the, I think I missed something when he's talking about the mirror situation on why I switch my mirrors over. I mean, it's more so for shorter guys. You know what I mean? Shorter guys kind of need that that straight line of sight to look at mirrors. Guys, I'm 5'8". Let's see. Of course, Boston mids are good horsepower. Okay, excellent reason for being down on racing purpose. Yeah. 114 tabs. Now thinking about switching to a Chromeworks 4.5. Tabs over the Chromeworks. Chromeworks over the tabs. Yeah, I would definitely go with what you like as far as if there's slip-ons. What looks better and what sounds better. I know a lot of guys are running those tabs. You know, you could put a header to the tabs. A lot of guys run the Chromeworks. You could put a header to the Chromeworks. There's some other secrets out there. I would most definitely look at the Chromeworks, because Chromeworks makes a decent pipe, guys. They make a decent pipe. When you start going bigger, though, you know, you kind of got to watch out for, you know, what exhaust you're running, and especially, you know, if you're thinking stage 2 with just 2 slip-ons, you're going to need a little bit more. You probably want to go at least a 2 and a 2. Like with the Chromeworks, a 2 and a 2 is perfect. Why isn't no turbo Harley Davidson in the street racing? What's your opinion on the turbo Harleys? I can tell you about that. Mac, would you ever build a turbo bike for the track? Speaking of 21-inch Prodigy wheel. Okay, I got you guys covered, man, and I got about 15 minutes. 15 minutes. All right, so turbo bikes, turbo Harleys on the street. Why isn't it done? Traction. Traction, and traction. Because, yes, you dial these bikes down because you can make a lot more power with a turbo bike any day of the week. We all get that. But if you have no real way to tune or tame that power of the turbo, it does you no good. You can have the fastest, highest horsepower turbo bike and it's just gonna annihilate the tire. You have some guys out there that only run their turbo bikes on the track. There's turbo bikes out there going 7 seconds and a quarter mile. You know, they're real fast guys out there. Would I build a turbo bike? Yeah, I would build one, but I wouldn't build it to go out and race. This bike would be perfect setup for a turbo bike. I mean, it would be crazy because, you know, every time you step on the gas, when this bike does hook, it's gonna be in the air, and I'm gonna be fighting wheelies and stuff like that. But once you're going 70 miles an hour or something like that, and you nail it, that bike's just, it's moving. But, you know, is it worth it? No. Could I possibly take that legendary orange and slap a turbo on it? Pa-pow! Yes. Now, see, that would be a killer combination. You got the best of everything, and there you go. So, yeah, a lot of guys don't run turbo bikes because they fear the traction, that those bikes won't hook on every road. Some roads they'll hook perfect, some roads they won't. They don't want to take the chance, especially when they're putting money and stuff like that on the line. And I kind of understand. Once you are familiar with a setup, you kind of try and stick with it. But the power that the all motorbikes are making now is kind of like what some of those turbo bikes make. But when you turn a turbo bike up, cancel Christmas, it's a faster bike. They just can't get them to work. Prodigy wheel. I'm not sure what you want to know about it, but 21-inch wheel, bike rides like it's stock. I did it because, matter of fact, I had these wheels on Bipolar. I really liked the way they looked on Bipolar, and I still kind of like them better on Bipolar, but you know, we're chasing something right now. It's a good stock look. You know, if I'm gonna do an aftermarket wheel, I'm going to try and keep my bike looking like how Harley kind of brought it out. So that's kind of why I went with the Prodigy wheel. But my sneak attack was to get a 17-inch Prodigy wheel on the back. And you know, by now, guys, it's no secret. You run a 17 to run more tires to get better traction. That's it. Stock rotors on it though. I might upgrade those rotors on it. I probably will. They're starting to get a little blister on them. I'll probably upgrade them to a set of Gauflers or something like that. I don't know yet. I don't know. I might just swap the whole wheels. I don't know. You know, that's one of those things, guys. But that keeps me going back to that Road King. What else we got? Would you ever go back to sport bike racing? Coach, I'm very competitive. No, I can't do it though. You know, those guys, I still talk to all the sport bike guys, the racing guys. I'm friends with some of the fastest guys you'll ever meet. And they always say, hey, you know, you want to come back to this world, and I almost dip in every now and then, but I'm holding my own. I just got rid of probably one of the best bikes that's on the market right now. I don't know if you guys have seen my past videos, but I had a 2020 Gixxer 1000 with a nice motor in it. You know, of course, everything was built on that bike. Super fast, super clean, not a scratch on it. Dangerously fast, but you know, I felt like I'm growing out of that, guys. I've ridden sport bikes for over 20 years. I've probably had over 20-some sport bikes, man. Big dogs, little ones, you know. I've had 3 or 4 bikes at one time. But, you know, that's just the thing. I had the tabs and moved to the Chromeworks. Okay, well, there we go. I didn't want to say nothing, but somebody else said it. Yeah, I really like the Chromeworks. Just my opinion. The orange CVO is VVT. Is that a concern for you? For me, no, because I'm telling you, I didn't want to buy a new 24, 25 until we figured out every little nook and cranny. Remember, you can take the VVT out of it, but for me, I think I would take that legendary orange, I'll mention that again, and do a stage 2, call it a day. Have a 130 horsepower bike or so, maybe 140, see what we could do. But a good setup like that bike's gonna be a ripper, and pretty. That's one of those bikes you pull out on Sunday, cruise it down the beach, you know, give them one of these and keep going. You know what I mean? It's just one of those you know, I plan on just like, you know, tour pack, keeping it fully functional, everything on it that Harley makes. I'm just, hey, swipe, swipe, swipe. Come on, Harley. What else you got? Swipe again. That's just how I would go with a CVO. Some guys don't do that. I'm not that guy. I'm going out like that. So how much for the tour pack? $2 grand? Whooshing. What else we got? What can do with the Vance and Hines? What are we talking about? The Vance and Hines slip-ons? What are we talking about? George said I get more horsepower from the corn works, so I went that direction. Yeah, you will. I've seen it. And then, you know, Chromeworks started realizing that their bikes make some power. I don't know if they heard me say, hey, we've been running a lot of Chromeworks with these stage 2s and these 128s. So then they went off and did a 2-in-1 because they were doing 2-in-2s. I know some guys still keep the 2-in-2s. So they went and did the Outlaw pipe. Now, I don't know about that one. I don't know if I would go that direction, but, you know, I would definitely, if I'm doing stage 2, that might be something that I would look at. It's a good look. Do you ever see any Indians race? Street race? Yes, I saw one. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't a bad deal, but I mean, those bikes have to stay in a class. I mean, you gotta realize, guys, if you take a bike and you build an Indian to the hill, I think you might get 170 horsepower out of it. Still a good deal. Still a quick bike. But they're capping out about right in there. 170. Some guys claim 180. I don't really believe it, but maybe. But the difference between 170 and 180 horsepower bike in drag racing kind of means nothing. I don't know if, like I said, guys, the aftermarket's not big enough and there's not enough people around that build those bikes. But I've seen them out there. I've seen guys out there. I even have one in a video that I did in Atlanta. That guy was kicking a few novice, I call him that, in the ass because he was just out riding them more than the bike was just fast, because the bike would be able to accelerate out there, but those guys are usually supposed to be able to walk around them, but if he's already out there, it's kind of hard to catch him, especially if he knows what he's doing. Man, come on, man. I'm going to give you the game. We got 5 more minutes of it, though. Mac, in your opinion, what parts would you suggest to avoid to do an average stage 2 rider? First of all, go out, like this video, and go watch the video that I just dropped on YouTube, guys. It should be a good video. Give it a like, and let me know that you were in this live today if you're going to watch that video. So, parts that I would avoid, Harley parts. Most Harley parts I would avoid. I would go aftermarket with most of the parts. So let's say cam. I'm not going to use a Harley cam. Breather, like a ventilator or something like that, yes. Harley, I could go for it. I did it, but I had to modify it. The tuner, absolutely not. Stay away from it. The Screaming Eagle tuners, no bueno. You can go with their throttle body because I think it's a 55, so you can go a little bit bigger. You can go with the manifold. Nothing plastic, guys. Nothing plastic. It's kind of easier to just say, hey, HPI, can I come over? Because it's going to do better. And especially if you're going to be one of those guys that maybe say, all right, the winter's coming back around. I want to go big bore kit. Booyah. You already got those parts. What do I consider a small motor class for both M8s and twin cams? Small motor. The way the race game is being built, small motor has been anything under a 131. So let's not talk compression. Let's not talk what you make in horsepower, because nobody really knows and nobody really cares. Okay? You can tell them you make XYZ horsepower, they're not gonna believe you. So 131 and smaller. But where's the place for the mid-range or the middle class guys? Because what's next? 135, 139, all these oddball numbers that they're making? No, because honestly, there should only be small motor, big motor. You get in where you fit in. There's certain things that put you in a big motor class. There's certain things that might save you from getting into a big motor class, but that's a whole conversation. But for instance, a lot of guys say, if you're running any other type of fuel that you can't get from a gas station, you need to be in a big motor class. I understand it. I understand it. Shift assist, I don't have one. So if you had an air shifter, what is it called? The DynoJet quick shifter. Any other type of shifter should put you in a big motor class. I don't know about that one, but you know, I don't see guys with small motors trying to run air shifters on their bike. Now, if you told me that they had just a normal shift assist, like I said, the DynoJet quick shifter, I don't see that one pushing a person into the big motor class. So, but that's kind of like where we stop at. Definitely should do a collab with Stogie. Make sure you're in the second slow race event. I don't go slow. I don't go slow, guys. Spoke to the boys at Chromeworks. I mean, and even if you wanted to go in a slow race, you know, you can't have any real horsepower. Those bikes don't like it at all. They do not like for you to bump that clutch and keep trying to blop, blop, blop and play around with them. Negative. Spoke to the boys at Chromeworks and they said stay with their 2-into-2 opposed to the 2-in-1. See? Well, there you go. I'm not guessing, guys. I'm telling you what I know. I would rather someone stay with the 2-in-2. It can always be modified. You end up losing power. Yes, that 2-in-1 is just, that outlaw is just for guys to say, here goes another pipe that you can buy. It's not going to do anything more than the 2-in-2, but if you just want to run a single-sided pipe, that's it. Thanks for answering the question. I appreciate it. Hey, man, no problem. Mark McGee and Dipper 1965. I got you guys. We got like two more minutes, and I got to get out of here. So let me make sure I got everybody. What class am I racing with Bipolar? Grudge class, because Bipolar has been set up to run M5, guys. I mean, they sell it for everybody, but you just got to get your things together to make it run. So Bipolar can run in either class, but you know, we're still going to have certain things on Bipolar come race time that I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, no, you don't fit in our class over here. You don't fit in our class over here. So it's going to be strictly grudge. I won't be joining any events with Bipolar because I think it's too all over the place to fit in any one class. It doesn't have enough for this class, but it has too much for this class. It's kind of how the bike has been built. Remember, guys, I built the bike for me. So when guys say, I want to race you, I already knew that I would be getting challenges from a lot of guys. So if you challenge me, just be prepared for what I have to compare to what you have. And if you feel like, you know, something I have on my bike is not right, you don't like it, it's just too much, well, you can't race me. I mean, that's all your opinion. Guys used to complain about carbon fiber wheels. Oh, you got carbon wheels, man. Oh, you got an advantage. I mean, listen, they didn't just sell one set, you know, so maybe you just didn't really want to race me as much as you thought you did. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Like I said, the YouTubers this year, that's who you got to come see. That's who you got to come see. If you want to get this, I'm just holding on to it, guys. I mean, it's up for grabs. Guys, come get it. Don't take it personal. Hey, if you take it, if you win and you beat me, it belongs to you now. And next year, I'll see if I can get it back. You know, that's just the way it goes. So let's see if guys will make belts, Let's see if these guys will reach out this year and say, hey, you know, we want to run you for that belt. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You lose it? Who cares? Move on. But, you know, some guys take it so personal and, you know, they get butthurt about certain things and then they, you know, it takes the fun out of it. But do me a favor, like this live. Go watch my video that I just posted. I think you guys might enjoy it. We actually took the bike out today and, you know, made it dance a little bit, tour pack and all. So guys, I appreciate you for watching, joining. Legendary Orange coming in my future. Yes, merch will be at allamericancycles, guys. I'll be dropping off more merch coming soon. So guys, until the next time, peace.